been expecting you.
What is up, everybody? Josh here with Lorgasm, and today let's talk about WandaVision Episode 7. I know I'm a week behind on this. I have really no excuse. I was just tired. I was binging a new show and I just didn't make any videos. But I am recording this before I watch the new episode. So this episode starts off with Wanda waking up after the Halloween, and she expanded the hex and trapped all the sword agents and turned them into carnies. And that's including Darcy. And throughout this episode we get cuts to characters talking to the camera like they do in The Office.
They're the same.
I've had a lot of people tell me it's more like Modern Family than The Office, but I mean, The Office did it first, and I've never seen Modern Family, so I don't know how that works. We then see the boys come into her room and asking her for help because their video games are messing up, and their controller turns from a Wii controller to a GameCube controller, and then to an Atari controller, and then to a hand of Uno cards, which is like crazy. And something is definitely wrong right now. Billy starts saying that his head feels weird, and that it's really noisy, and it's because he's a telepath, so he can probably hear everybody in the whole town's thoughts. Probably hear them crying out for help. Or if Wanda's suppressing those, maybe he's just hearing how Wanda is going through all her grief and stuff, and it's just like spreading out through everyone. Or he's hearing everybody else's grief that's being turned up because of Wanda's powers. Wanda then comes downstairs and starts getting a bowl of cereal, and when she reaches into the fridge, it's a bottle of almond milk, and then when she goes to pour it, it turns into a carton of regular milk, and on the back there's a missing kid. Then it turns into a glass of milk, kind of like the 50s, 60s styles. Now this missing kid that was on the carton of milk could be a hint towards something that happens later in the episode, where a certain somebody could be eating children. I know you already know who. I'm still going to hold for suspense though. We then get the theme, which is clearly inspired by The Office, and that was dope. I was not expecting it. I mean, I was kind of expecting it when I saw the talking to the camera, but then I was not expecting it to sound so much like the Office theme song, which was cool. After that, we cut to Hayward, who finds out that they're not actually getting the broadcast from the Hex anymore, so they can't see anything that's going on right now. And then he tells one of his underlings to tell everybody to get ready because they are heading in there today. And I'm assuming that means he's going to attack. We then cut to Vision waking up, and he's in the middle of the circus, and he finds Darcy, who's actually an escape artist, which, I mean, I was really disappointed. I get because she was locked up, that now she has chains around her and she has to break out. But I was really hoping for something cooler. I don't know what. Honestly, I was probably hoping for her to be a Transformer, but obviously that's not even in this universe. Vision then tries to talk to her, and then she thinks that he's hitting on her and just walks away. After that, we cut back to Wanda, and she is asking where Vision is, and the boys don't know. And she says, well, he could just stay gone then. And then the boys ask about Pietro, and Wanda's like, whoa, hold up. That's not your uncle. Don't trust anything he's ever said. And right after this, Agnes comes over, and then she offers to watch the kids so Wanda can actually have some alone time. And Wanda says, yeah. And then Agnes says, come on, kids, I don't bite. And that's a little sus. And then she says, actually, I have bit a kid once, and come on now. There's a missing kid. She bites. It's speculated that she's Agatha Harkness already, which is a witch. Witches eat children.
Coincidence? I think not!
And then Wanda just sits there and eats her cereal after they leave, and everything just starts switching between era. Like the TV goes down to the 70s, then goes to a 50s. Random stuff around the room is. And then we cut over to our man Jimmy and Monica, who meet up with a team of military contacts who everyone thought was going to be like the Fantastic Four, but got you, it wasn't. The main military chick still might be the what's his name, Talos, the main Skrull leader dude, his daughter that was friends with Monica as a little kid.
You guys have the best eyes. Don't ever change your eyes.
That might be who that military chick is. They bring out a vehicle, and this is like a bad boy, and it's supposed to help Monica get back into the Hex, and it fits all the specs that she was talking about in the earlier episodes. We cut back to Vision, and he's still trying to get Darcy to recognize him, and she gives in and then says like, yeah, I'll go on a date with you. And then he's like, whoa, 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 and wakes her up. And then they decide to like peace out, jump in a car, they steal a car, and then head back to his house. Vision then asks who the imposter Pietro is. But like, I know he was feeling sus about Pietro, but there's no way he knew that Pietro was an imposter. Like, he was nowhere near when Wanda blasted him.
Don't sweat it, sis. It's not like your dead husband could die twice.
You didn't see that coming.
He still didn't get his memories back when he, like, I thought maybe when he went out of the Hex, all his memories flooded back in. That didn't happen because later Darcy has to tell him his whole life story essentially. So how does he know that Pietro was an imposter? After that, we cut back to Wanda, and more stuff is just freaking out around the house. And then she sits there and does her little interview camera thing, and the camera person says, do you think this is what you deserve? And Wanda's like, whoa, like, you're not supposed to talk. And then we get our next commercial, which is for depression medicine called Nexus. And in the commercial it says it anchors you to reality or the reality of your choice. So this is representing the next big event in Wanda's life, which is literally what's happening right now. So the last one was about Vision dying, so now this one is about her creating her own bubble world and sticking with it. This also could represent her being a Nexus being, and Nexus beings are beings that are able to control the probability of reality and alter the timeline. And in the comics, that's where the Time Variance Authority come in and deal with stuff. And that is who we're actually dealing with in the Loki show, which is coming out soon. Can't wait for that. We then cut to Agnes's house, and Billy mentions about how quiet her home is and how she is quiet. And when he says that, she kind of looks concerned, just like for a second, and then Tommy interrupts and is like, hey, do you think my mom's good? And Agnes is like, of course, she could do anything. We then cut back to Monica, and she suits up and tries to drive this vehicle into the Hex, but she hits the edge, and then the vehicle starts to like go up the edge of the Hex while sinking into it at the same time, and it gets stuck. So then she jumps out, and after she jumps out, like as she's jumping out, it's sinking more and more. And then after she jumps out, the Hex flings the vehicle back. It flies over her and lands. And the front half is just straight a pickup truck, and then the back half is like the futuristic moon truck that it was. After that, Monica's like, yo, I'm just gonna go in. And then she runs into the Hex. And when she does, she has like different personalities, I guess, like the hero version of her, the sword agent of her, the normal girl of her, the Geraldine version of her, and they all kind of like split. And then as she's doing this, like, you hear lines from Captain Marvel.
Maybe I could fly up and meet you halfway.
Oh, only if you learn to glow like your Auntie Carol.
And then like all of these forms of her just come back together, and her eyes start to glow. After that, the Hex kind of spits her out in Westview, and then she can see like the electromagnetic field around the whole city and stuff. And then she takes off towards the town, and she takes off the suit, and the suit that she has underneath it kind of looks like a Fantastic Four suit, to be honest. After that, we cut to Darcy, and she's telling Vision everything, like I said before. And then they get stuck at a red light. Right after the red light, then they go, and then construction comes in to fix the lights. And Vision's getting the feeling that Wanda just doesn't want him to come home. We then cut to Wanda taking some pills, and it's most likely Tylenol to like cure a headache, but it could be Nexus pills to cure her depression. And then after she takes them, Monica just busts in the door, and she confronts her and lets her know that Hayward plans to like come in and attack. And Wanda picks her up and then takes her outside and slams her down. But when she does, Monica superhero lands.
She gonna do superhero landing. Wait for it. Superhero landing.
Yeah, that's really hard on your knees.
Totally impractical. They all do it.
Love it. When she does this, Dottie and the mailman are like right there and they're staring. And then there's some other people across the street that are stopped and they're looking. Wanda threatens to attack Monica. Monica's like, do it then.
Do it then. Take me out.
Do it! Just do it! No, what are you waiting for? Do it! Just do it!
And then Wanda like second guesses herself. So Monica says like, that's why you and Hayward are different. Like he plans on coming in here and burning this whole city down. Don't let him make you a villain. And she's like, what if I already am though? Monica keeps talking to her and starts to break through to her. Like you can see it in her face that she's gonna like be on Monica's side. And then bang, Agnes walks up, interrupts it. She tells Monica to go and just takes Wanda to her house. And then everybody on the street starts acting like nothing happened, going back to normal. And Monica starts to follow Agnes and Wanda. After that, we cut to Vision and Darcy, and the construction's finally done. And they go, and then bam, traffic stop because kids are crossing. Vision pretty much gets tired of waiting. He's like, I want to be with my wife. So he phases through the roof of the car and just flies. And Darcy's like, alright, well I guess I'll meet you there. After that, we cut back to Wanda, and she's sitting at Agnes's house. And Agnes goes to make her a cup of tea, and she notices that there's sandwiches on the table and a kids TV show on, but her kids aren't there. And then she starts to see like, oh, this house is kind of creepy. So she's like, yo, where are my kids at? And Agnes is like, oh, they're playing in the basement, because that's a thing. So then Wanda goes down to the basement, looks for them, and then the aspect ratio actually starts to change, as if she's left the hex and this is back in the regular world. As she walks down, it's kind of like a temple. Temple's the only thing I can think of to explain it. There's like a Baphomet head on the wall. There's a cabinet which has like animal skulls in it. And then we see an altar, and on the altar is a grimoire. A lot of people think this is the Darkhold, but me personally, I do not think this is the Darkhold, because the Darkhold was in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and in the Runaways, and it looked completely different than what this book looks like. But in the Runaways and Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., they looked exactly the same.
The bridge is burned.
I saw a few theories that this could be a book that was missing from the Ancient One's personal library.
The Ancient One's private collection.
So they're forbidden.
And that could actually make a lot of sense if this is like a Doctor Strange book, or like a book from the Sanctum, because this show's supposed to lead into Doctor Strange 2, so that'd be a cool little connection. And I believe he will actually be in the last episode, and if he's not in the last episode, maybe an after credit scene. And I know that Feige doesn't count Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. as canon, but I mean, come on, man. They tried so hard to link up this show to everything that happens in the movies and not contradict anything. And it links up all the way until the second half of season 5, because they go to the future, they come back from the future. When they come back from the future, they actually bring somebody from the future back with them, which alters the timeline, which makes this a second timeline. And then they're in this timeline through all of season 6. Thanos is mentioned in the end of season 5, so he still apparently comes to this Earth, this timeline. I guess everything up until this point is exactly the same. Did he snap in this timeline? Maybe this is the timeline where they stop him. I don't know, because they don't mention anybody being missing in that season. So maybe this timeline is the timeline that Star-Lord doesn't punch Thanos in the face and they take the glove off of him and they kill him right there. And then season 7 of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is a whole nother timeline off of this. So we got the OG Marvel timeline. We got the Deke coming back from the future timeline, which is now their timeline for season 5 and 6. And then we got the Chronicom timeline for all of season 7. And then Deke ends up staying over that in that timeline anyways. But when they come back, Fitz is still alive with them and stuff, so they're still in the alternate timeline. So like nothing they do contradicts anything from the OG timeline. So even though at the end of season 7 S.H.I.E.L.D. is a thing again, like they have the hella carrier pads that Mac's on, like none of that happens in the normal MCU timeline. So everything's all good, nothing contradicts, they're perfect. That, and then the Runaways doesn't contradict anything, Cloak and Dagger doesn't contradict anything, and that's connected to the Runaways. They even do a crossover episode if you didn't know. With their Darkholds, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and Runaways, with their Darkholds looking exactly the same, if they were to change what the Darkhold looks like in WandaVision, which is like Feige's official canon, and it decanonizes those shows, that's so dumb. And so people have put so much time in the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. It would just be dumb to just decanonize them because of the book, because of one dumb book. And like I know that like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. brought in Ghost Rider, but like it was Robbie Reyes Ghost Rider, so you could still use the other Ghost Riders. And we already lost the Netflix shows. He doesn't think those are canon either. So like, why you gotta ruin everybody's fun? Another thing, it could just be Agatha's spellbook. Like it could just be her personal spellbook that she uses, or it could be the Necronomicon. That would explain how Vision was able to get brought back to life because of Necronomicon powers. Agnes then pops up and then reveals that she is Agatha, which I think I accidentally just said, but oh well. She is actually Agatha Harkness, which we already speculated. She then makes her eyes glow purple, and then makes Wanda's eyes glow purple, and then her theme song starts playing, which to me sound like the Munsters. And we see her show up in the first episode, and she transforms from her purple dress into the whatever she was wearing in that first episode, and turning black and white. We see her in episode 2 make the rabbit run off a stage. It shows us her making Herb like space out and cut into the wall in episode 3. And then we see her make Pietro appear in episode 5. And we see her pretend to be under Wanda's control in episode 7 when Vision's talking to her in the car. And then we see her in this episode as the cameraman who talked to Wanda. And then right after that, she reveals that she killed Sparky. That bitch. And the way she said it sounded a lot like the Wicked Witch of the West, which I think was very intentional.
I'll get you, my pretty, and your little dog too.
And then the episode ends. But we do get an after credit scene, and this is where Monica is snooping around Agatha's house, and Pietro pops up and says, "Oh, Snooper's gonna snoop." And then Monica's eyes turn purple as if she's under Agatha's control. I really liked this episode. I thought it was awesome. Definitely like a 9.8, 9.9. Not a 10 yet. It's so close to a 10. I believe that when Agatha said, "I don't bite, I have been a kid once," she was talking about that missing kid on the milk carton. Like, she ate that kid. And I do have a gut feeling that she ate Wanda's kids. Maybe she consumed them to gain their powers or something. I don't know. Maybe that's how these witches gain power. I want to know who this Pietro is. Who's Evan Peters playing? Is it the X-Men Quicksilver? Did she pull him over from the Fox universe? What's going on? What is going on with him? I can't wait to see Vision pop up and fight Agatha. I can't wait to see Monica knock some mother effers out. I'm pretty sure Monica and Vision are actually gonna fight while Agatha is messing with Wanda, and then Darcy's gonna show up at some point. I don't know what to do. I don't know to do what. And then I feel like right towards the end is when Hayward and all their crew is gonna pop up. And then it's gonna cut, and we have to wait till next week to see the grand finale of it all. I really do hope that this isn't the Darkhold. I'll be really disappointed, because I loved Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Thoroughly enjoy the Runaways, and Cloak and Dagger is pretty good too. I just I like it all. I like everything. I mean, heck, I like the Inhumans. I know that's like a taboo thing, but I do like the Inhumans as well. Pretty much everything Marvel has put out, I like. I'm just the shill. But that is all I got for you right now. I'll probably end up posting 2 videos. No, I'll wait. I'll post one tonight and then one tomorrow, probably. Because right after I'm done with this, I'm going straight to watching the new episode. So that's all I got for you guys today, and I will catch you guys next time. Peace.